Hello again. How are you all doing today? So here we're going to be fixing a MacBook. This is an A1398 with no power. Going to open up the ticket. The first thing we do, before we actually get started working on this MacBook, is kill its coronavirus. Die, Corona. Die. Die, Corona. Die. You know, this is going to be a really interesting experiment over the next couple of weeks. Because if you noticed, very few of the rioters were wearing masks. Many protesters were, but there were also many that were not. And they were screaming, and they were very close to each other. And the difference between having a conversation with someone and screaming in a protest is there's a lot more droplets when screaming. So how potent is coronavirus when everybody is not socially distancing, is not wearing a mask, and is not locked down? That is a social experiment that we are about, or a medical experiment perhaps, that we are about to see the results of over the next few weeks. Because remember, it takes about 2 weeks for these cases to go from being asymptomatic to symptomatic in people whose body doesn't beat it before showing symptoms. So I'm very curious to see what happens over the next 2 weeks. I also bought a bunch of stock, and I decided to put my cash savings or any cash savings really, into stocks around March and some in April. Sold out at the end of May, and now we wait for coronavirus wave 2. When coronavirus wave 2 hits and we see everything go again, I will be ready to dive back in, and we'll see what happens there. You made it to number 6 on the YouTube trending page. Can you show me a screenshot? Because I have never been YouTube trending, and I just don't believe it unless I see a proof. Sorry. All right, so speaking. So let's see what's wrong with this MacBook. Now it says in the ticket, right here, device will not turn on or charge, sent to Apple to replace the battery, and Apple discovered the logic board failed and needed replacement or repair. Let's take a look at what's going on inside of this. So we are going to, oh my God. What the? How? What the fuck? How? There's no liquid damage. None. Okay, maybe a little bit. Yeah, you can't expect people to be totally honest. Wikipedia article on you was voted to not get deleted. Wonder what your reaction is that you had one at all. It's really weird looking at the points that people consider valuable because it doesn't really discuss much of my experience, my life, what it is I'm doing, history, all that. It really kind of just distills me as a human being down to Apple once taking my batteries and me testifying in the Henrik Husby case. I don't think that's really all there is to be worth being known for. But I'm also surprised that I even have one at all. I don't really think I'm a noteworthy enough figure to have my own Wikipedia page. It's really weird. It's very weird, actually. I really don't see any reason to have one. But considering that my Wikipedia page really doesn't give any sort of actual summary as to what it is I do or who I am, I don't really see the point of it being there. It's probably just kind of wasting space on the website. Tux the Penguin says it will be interesting to see how many of those protesters who were shouting, "I can't breathe," will be saying the same thing in 2 weeks on a ventilator. Well, that's a slightly more crass way of getting across what I was just saying, but such is life. So there's a really tiny bit of blue stuff over there, maybe liquid damage. We're going to go through and take this board out of the case, see what's wrong with it, and see if we can make it work again, and go from there. But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what's going to happen 2 weeks from now. Because this is a genuine experiment. Like, you know, it's not something that you would be able to do normally. But the protest and the way everything went, it's not like not being more than, how do I put this? It's not like being closer than 6 feet from other people was a priority in the last few weeks. So in 2 weeks, we will see just how bad coronavirus actually is once everybody is let out. It's going to be an interesting experiment. And it's not something that I would advocate for, but since it's already done, you know, we might as well get some data or information from it. Because most of the people that I saw protesting were younger, and coronavirus seems to, while it does have the ability to royally fuck you up if you're younger, there was that Olympic swimmer. He's in way better shape than I am. You know, lots of cardiovascular fitness is required in order to be a good Olympic swimmer. And he just got ravaged by it. It seems to be affecting people who are elderly much more than people who are young. Everybody say hi to the world's best personal trainer in the chat, Marty, Dr. Evil Genius. If any of you have been putting on a coronavirus gut and you live in New York City, reach out to Mr. Dr. Evil Genius. If any of you have a surgeon that suggested a 5 to 6 figure surgery to fix what could have been fixed with some basic exercise, he is also worth a shout out. I can't give you a screenshot of trending because that was yesterday's list and Google today updated the list. Yeah, it's really hard to imagine that I was ever trending on Google, on YouTube. But that's interesting. That would explain it, because I looked and I saw, how the fuck did I get 500,000 views or more in a day? That's insanity. Insanity. Sean Hannity. And can you check your email when you have a chance about a phone that I'm making? I have about 1,900 unread emails at the moment, and my customer service email has about 17 pages. So if the email that you sent me is anything besides, I have this and it's broken and I need to pay you to fix it, it's probably sitting in a, it's probably not going to get read anytime soon. I'm sorry. I apologize. My inbox is completely out of control. So I've really been leaving it to just the bare essentials. I hate using the E word now. The E word feels so dirty. Essential. The E word is that word that people use to define who is allowed to make a living and who's allowed to go bankrupt. Ugh. I can't use that word anymore. But I'll if you tell me what your question is, I'll make a deal with you. How about this? If you tell me what your question is in the chat, I'll include it as a discussion as part of the video. But I can't stop what I'm doing to read an email, because then I'm going to have 300, 500 people watch me read an email, and that's an incredibly boring video. So tell me what you have to say in here, and we will talk back and forth on it. But don't make me go to my email. Please, God, don't make me go to my email. That's a dark and dangerous place. That's a barren wasteland where anything that is not directly, immediately business-related goes to die. Honestly, there's a good chance I deleted it if it wasn't like directly essential. But yeah, so just put it in here. When you get a moment, will you fix a Mac on stream? Maybe, Christopher Kelly. Maybe. I'm working on it. Bafang working, need new sine wave controller. New? What do you mean new? What happened? What happened to the one that you got? Get out of there, you piece of shit. My God. Fucking MacBook. If there's anything in this world that's not essential, it's these pieces of shit. Alright, let's take a look under the microscope. I got the new light. Let's take a look at what when you get Are you going to follow the New York-wide minute of silence at 2 o'clock? I did not even know there was a minute-wide minute of silence, but I'm about to fix my MacBook, so I hope your business is able to survive this insanity. It caught on fire almost like your bike did last year. Oh, what the hell did you do to your bike, Papa? So far, I'm threading the needle pretty well, Mario. I had a couple of people that were banging on the door, so I used my horn at 40 amps the other day, and I was recording it, and that was lots of fun. So every time I could hear banging on the door, what I did is I hooked up my horn to my power supply that I could turn on via the, yeah, indeed, JP, indeed, air horn. What I was doing is I had my, I had my air horn attached to a relay. The relay was attached to my bench power supply. My bench power supply is attached to the software, so every time someone started bashing on the window, I also put some lights on it. I had the truck air horn let out a nice 400 watt. I actually got it on stream, but the stream still hasn't finished encoding. But yeah. I may not be able to shoot you, but at the very least I can make you deaf. You fucking rioting looter. It's the least I can do. Okay, so let me just get my multimeter software up on the screen. Ahem. Are you working, you piece of... Really? Did I choose the wrong COM port? I chose the wrong COM port. Oh, come on. My friends and I want to make a phone that's super repairable. What's the biggest issue in terms of repairability? What would you like to see that would make your life easier? Okay, what I would like to see, Rockford. A, liquid... There has to be a way to liquid-proof the device to a reasonable extent without gluing the battery into the phone. I refuse to believe that gluing the battery into the phone is an absolute 110% prerequisite to any sort of liquid resistance, because there are many other phones that are industrial that have managed to not glue the battery inside of the phone's housing and still manage to be liquid resistant. Secondly, release a schematic and a board view for it. Is that so much to ask? That's pretty much... Because the battery is the thing that's going to affect the most users. The lack of replaceable battery is the thing that's going to screw with the most normal people. Hiss. I forget what I was just doing. Shit. What was I just doing? Ah! I'm such a terrible streamer. I need to switch. Was it switch over to the microscope? Oh no, it was the damn power supply software. Power supply software. Power supply software. Power supply. If you buy a train horn, but it's loud. See, I think a train horn may be going overboard. Just a little bit. Just a little. I don't think a train horn is necessary yet. Okay, bam. Power supply is on. Now I got to turn on the Paul Daniels software. Make sure it doesn't crash. That software is from Australia, so I would not be surprised if it turned on upside down. Jake Paul got arrested today, caught on camera with looters. Is there any reason for me to really care what that person does? If you want to become famous from doing crazy, ridiculous shit and just making the world slightly more chaotic and shitty, you do you, but like, I can't really care. I can't necessarily care if it's... Okay, so let's get this on the screen. Multimeter and power supply, bada bing. When I plug it in, I get nothing on my... I'm taking 6 milliamps. I'm not taking much. I wouldn't expect to take much because when you look at my board looks like this. This Apple product just smoked itself. Like this just straight up decided, you know, it's time for the barbecue. Where's the barbecue? I'm ready. I'm ready. Look at this thing. Barbecue. Absolute, utter barbecue. I was going to send you an 8-horn setup from a train, but you would have to hook it up to your shop air compressor. It needs 100 psi and at least a few gallon reservoir tank. JP, that may be a bit much. I think at that point, I might as well just get a gun. So, what does this thing do? What is this for? Well, that's an excellent question. This board is an 820-00163, so I'm going to open up Paul Daniels' software and pray that it doesn't freeze, and use it to open the board view for this model board. 820-00163. Someone says, you do have a right to protect your property. No, I don't. I live in New York City. No, I don't. Let's see. I cross my fingers and pray. Okay, we'll see. And we scroll. Oh, for F's sake. What are you doing taking on my CPU? To be fair, we don't have the right to protect our lives either. You can't protect your life, your property, your car, your kitty. If you're Yuli, you can protect all of that. If you're a Yuli, you can protect everything, actually. If you're me, not so much. Okay. The 8-horn setup is 154 dB. The one I sent you is rated for 125. At that point, I think I'll get sued for making rioters deaf. Okay, so let's take a look at what it is that was broken here, right? So what it is that has blown up appears to be this chip. U7090 is a chip that is used to power PP3V42_G3 hot. PP3V42_G3 hot is the power rail that is going to power the system management controller. In addition to powering the system management controller, it's also going to power the SMC. So if I click on PP3V42_G3 hot on the board, you'll see that it goes to the system management controller, and it also goes to something called the one-wire circuit down here. Now, what is the one-wire circuit? Well, that's an excellent question. The one-wire circuit is a circuit that's going to allow the charger to speak to the system management controller. So this is a MacBook. Remember, it's not like a normal computer where you just plug it in and there's power. This is complicated. It always has to be complicated. Like a German car, let's just over-engineer it so it fails in 2 to 4 years. So let's take a look over here. So we have this ridiculous setup of, so adapter sense. So the adapter is not going to turn on and work properly. The computer's not going to work properly unless it gets to have a conversation with the charger. It's not like you can just, immediately just plug in and blow your load. You need to take her to dinner. You need to take her to a movie. You need to talk about your dreams in life. You need to talk about your goals, back and forth, conversation. And then you can plug your 18 volts into her. So over here, that's going to happen on the adapter sense line. So adapter sense is going to come from the charger. Now adapter sense needs to speak to the system management controller on this one-wire line right over here. So, however, there's a chance that you're going to send 18 volts instead of 3-volt data line to that sense line. Why? Because this is a magnetic charger. Everything's next to one another. So you have adapter sense, which is a 3-volt data line, but then you have this 18 to 20 volt power line up here. And as you can see, this charger has all of them right next to one another. So since they're all right next to one another, it's very easy if someone's drunk and going, I'm gonna try to plug my MacBook in. Because the liquor store is essential and staying open and getting everybody wasted, and they're just like, the MacBook. That you're going to plug your 18 volts into your 20 volt, into your 3-volt line. So the way that you prevent that from happening over here is you have this chip that sits between the adapter and the system management controller. So if it sees a 2.9 volt data line, this chip says, sure, go ahead, talk to the system management controller, have a good day. But if it sees 18 volts, it says, fuck you, you're not getting through. This chip that does that job is powered by this one. This one is powered by PP3V42. And PP3V42 is not working because it looks like this. Like this. And it looks like that because it's a fucking Apple product. Why would you expect it to work without blowing up? You bought the wrong thing. Anyway, so if we take a look at the machine when we plug it in, you'll see that we don't get a light in the charger. And the reason we don't get a light in the charger is because that PP3V42_G3 hot is missing. And the reason it's missing is, I don't know, blame Tim Cook. So what we're going to do here is take all that stuff off the board, replace it with stuff that's not burned, reassemble this, and then collect some essential customer money. Which I will feel 110% no guilty conscience in doing so, since for the last 7 years I've been telling you to buy a ThinkPad. No, I'm not going to buy a ThinkPad. I want to keep giving Lewis money. All right, I'll take your money. If you want to keep giving it to me, I'll keep taking it. I'll keep taking it. We just become more and more essential. We just keep becoming more and more essential. More Macs you buy, the more essential I become. The more Macs you buy, the more essential I become. All right. Well, Your Honor, we need to postpone this trial until my client learns sign languages he cannot hear. Oh, man. Why are you wearing a mask? I am wearing a mask because at any moment my employees can walk in, and with my luck, I will sneeze or cough on them as soon as they walk in. And with my luck, I will have also gotten coronavirus on my way to the store. And wearing this piece of shit mask is a fairly simple way to slightly lower the chances that people get sick. Which is worth it to me. Speaking of giving Lewis money, have some PP3V42. Copaz, stop that. Keep your money. How much flux will you use today? An essential amount. This is an essential amount of flux right here. Lewis, the population of New York City loves you. Maybe that's why I haven't gotten looted yet. Man, if you go between 26th and 27th Street on 6th Avenue, it looks like a war zone. A lot of these businesses that don't have gates, I really don't understand it. It's very arrogant. I care so much about my appearance that I'm willing to completely give up any semblance of security in order to look slightly nicer. Oh well. Good luck with that strategy. When shit hits the fan, I wouldn't want to be responsible for that place. I might actually visit Manhattan so I can stalk these protesters, says Kopaz. They're not protesters, they're rioters. Be clear. Protesters are people that peacefully assemble, advocate for a particular cause, and seek to change the world to make it a better place, which is a good thing to do. Rioters are cunts. It's important to not conflate the two. Like, if people just decided to toss pipe bombs into Apple stores and they wrote right to repair on the pipe bomb, I would not call that a right to repair advocate, you know? I wouldn't want my causes to be slandered in such a way. I wouldn't want my business to be slandered in such a way or to get murked in with other people who are doing things that are disgusting. So I'm not going to do that to the people who are protesting for these reasons and these causes. I gotta say, I kind of had a... Is it wrong to say I think I smiled behind my mask thinking of a pipe bomb going off in an empty Apple store? All those ISL 9240s just turning into ash. But seriously, I think it's... Hi, someone says. Essential editing. Oh, you better be doing some essential editing. So I better turn the FTP server on so that you can actually download it. Am I being an essential boss? I think I'm being a very non-essential boss right now. Yeah. Did I not turn that back on? Non-essential boss. Okay, now it's on. Hopefully Hi can download this video now to edit. Missed a great opportunity to answer how much flux will you use with yes. That millennial thing gets bothersome after. Did Eugene get looted? I sincerely doubt that Karma did anything. He doesn't really have anything to loot, honestly. NPR says there is a video where medical Ponty headed... What? Okay, I don't know what the fuck that means. Looked at the data and found that just wearing a mask only 3% of the time you get C19, and over 2 meters away it drops to 0.3, and if you both have masks, it drops to 0.03. Yeah, and again, like, I don't mind looking like an idiot. I don't mind looking like an idiot for a month or two, because I usually look like an idiot anyway. If this gives me even the slightest chance of not spreading something to people that work here, like, this, why not fucking do it? It's like... The fact that this has all become political is just retarded. The left says I'm not allowed to open. The right says I'm not allowed to wear a mask. It's like, how about I just do it makes sense. And like, just fuck all this back and forth garbage. Pipe bombing an empty Apple store makes me smile, says Ari Tor. Dude, just stop making me think about it, man. Stop making me think about it. You getting... I can only get an erection while streaming so many times. But seriously, in all seriousness, like, you need to be able to separate the people who are actually looking to try and make the world better with people who are making the world worse under the guise of we want to make the world better. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of well-meaning, good people out there that want to see the world become better, and they're working and marching and trying to do it, and trying to get there. The 0.1% that decided to destroy that little restaurant on the corner that was already out of business and already bankrupt. Just like, hey, fuck you. Hi says, when Lewis has erection, I think it's time for me to go. No, I actually think that means it's time for you to come. I just can't... I think I just killed him. I just murdered him. He's dead now. He's dead. Mubis Frenchie says, do you need armed security? I think that may be a waste. If people actually manage to get past my gate and everything else, then that means they probably have a forklift or a tank or 500 people, in which case the armed security is useless. And if they don't get past it, then they didn't get past it. Because I have thought about it. I have thought about hiring a security company, but every single time I've seen that a store or an office or a business hires private security, you know, unless you're a multimillionaire, you're getting the cops that couldn't really pass the tests anymore, that decided to retire early, that, you know, couldn't jump over 3 bricks on top of each other. It's like, that's not going to do anything here. That's not.
Well, I rounded up a little bit. don't mind. I'm not like.
That smells good.
Smells really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The sauces are quality.
They have what do you call it, vegan option actually.
I will see. I'll go check. But the way that it smells good.
Yeah, so I mean,
Okay, got myself a nice donor board, and now we're just gonna put Humpty Dumpty back together. You're buying extra bad publicity if they shoot a looter in the name of your business. Yeah. I think that the current political climate, particularly in New York City, would be if someone breaks into my business and tries to hurt me and I shot them, that I would probably be the one at fault. Who am I kidding? Probably. I would be the one at fault. So the best thing to do is just make sure that people can't fucking get in. I think I'm pretty set unless someone gets a forklift. Because I saw that this one video where there was someone using a forklift to get in, and like that's not gonna... I don't think that's gonna happen here. I don't think we're at that point yet. When I saw a forklift being used to break into stores, the only thing I could think at that point is I really wish Apple were the ones making the forklifts. Then I could count on it not working. Stop giving ideas, says Ari Tor. I don't know. I'd be kind of curious to see what Apple does as makes as a forklift. These Logitech trackballs that I have really only last a few months before they stop working, and it's starting to annoy me. You see the rotten apple? Won over the shop in Norway. Yes, I did, and I don't care. I don't care for two reasons. Watch my video titled Why I Was Wrong About the Henrik Husby Case, then watch my video How Journalists Lose the Trust of Their Readers, and you should gain some good insight as to why I do not care about that case right now. If you want me to testify in your case, then tell me the entire fucking truth before a few hours before it's time for me to testify. That pissed me the fuck off. I wasn't really pissed off in the beginning of it, then I got a lot pissed off later. So what the hell is OBS doing? Even at really low encoding settings, it seems to be taking 92% CPU, which it was not doing before. Something's off here. Hey! I didn't know that Dan has a Twitch account. Okay, I figured it out. So apparently one of the encoders that's supposed to be using the GPU is actually using the CPU. When you set quality versus max quality for NVENC, it is the difference between 90% CPU usage and 7% CPU usage, which is really strange. Really connection. I'm feeling pretty essential right now. Da 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 da. Cheers from COVID country, says Claudio. That's kind of fucked up. Yeah. Hello from Chile, keep up the good work for 1,000 claps. Alright, well, let's see what happens here. Does this thing turn on? Does this turn on? Do we have PP3V42_G3 hot? No, we don't. Okay, what the fuck happened? Super bullet. Input. 18 volts in. 18 volts into the PP3V42. 18 volts at the diode. 0.2 volts at output. Alright. Is the output shorted? Is output shorted? Is output shorted? Output's not shorted. Lewis forget to put a resistor there because he's a moron. Let's see. Did Lewis forget to put a resistor there because he's a moron? Maybe. Probably I did. I probably did. So remember, this needs to be enabled, and the enable is going to be when you get more than 2 volts at this pin. Shouldn't does not stand for I shouldn't have opened a store location that was larger in New York City at the same time that a pandemic was striking along with riots. It stands for shutdown, as in less than 2 volts there, and it will shut down. So there is a resistor that I forgot to put there because I'm a dumbass. I'm a dumbass, and I forgot to put that resistor over there. That resistor needs to be there in order for it to turn on. And of course I didn't put the resistor there. I guess that's a good argument for no right to repair. You don't want people like Lewis who forgot to put the shouldn't resistor there working on your product. Now, do you? Do you? Do you? No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want those filthy independent repair people fucking up your things. I see Poland has entered the YouTube chat right here. Best wishes, stay strong. This is VA Philly. Thank you. We're all humans, says Ed. Indeed. Thank you. Can you tell us how much you made from the security cam stream? I don't know. It usually takes a few days before YouTube analytics gives you any information on new videos. Oh yeah, for Streamlabs they do. But I have 2 Streamlabs accounts, one for the main channel, one for the other one live. So I'd have to check, sign in, sign out. It's a pain in the dick. I want to fix my board. I fix my board. All right. Soldered. Gotta make sure the people from England are happy that I pronounce their L. Solder. It on there, plugging it right in, and there's an orange light, an amp is being taken, and the fan is spinning. Yeah. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Remember, if you want to make sure that businesses like mine are not essential, are you one of those many thousands of people that messaged me, emailed me, or said something really nasty on a forum about the fact that I stayed open throughout this whole thing? One of the best things that you could do to ensure that my business is not essential is stop buying this crap. Buy a ThinkPad. Buying a ThinkPad is the quickest way to ensure that I am no longer essential. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video.